Hey everyone, I'm Laura Tempest Zakroff, and this is 6 Minutes of Witchcraft. Though today it's going to take as long as it's going to take. So a little while ago I asked folks about what issues you'd like to see me talk about. And quite a few different people asked about having a crisis of faith. And I needed to get a little bit more information on that because what does that mean in terms of witchcraft, of paganism, of magical practice to have a crisis of faith? And I have some notes for this because it's a lot to cover. And for some people that was losing faith in the teachers or community leaders. For others it was, does magic even work? Does my magic work? Do the gods exist? Do the spirits exist? Am I just talking to the air? It also centered around issues of spiritual abuse, violations of trust within groups, communities, and leaders. And also, I think the big one is the power of yourself. Like, is this in my head? Am I actually doing a thing? Does any of this sort of matter? So that is what we're looking at for what folks asked about in terms of crisis of faith. So to go through these, I'm going to start with the last one and also the biggest one, which is about the power of self. And this one is not really a surprising thing. I have to say, this is what I had to ask people about. I'm like, what do you mean by crisis of faith? Because when I look at witchcraft, I look at my practice and go, all right, I know where I am. I know where the universe is. Just get a sense of how things are. But that's also after over 20 years of work to get there. So a different place for different people, different parts of their path. So when it comes to the self, right, and particularly having power of self and acknowledging what you can do, and you're fighting against a huge amount of society telling you magic isn't real and you're not powerful and your voice doesn't matter. Like, we're getting assaulted with that every day in the media. Everything around you, people are telling you that, like, you don't count, which is bullshit. You do. The way you take away somebody's power is to tell them you don't have any power. You're trying to convince them that they shouldn't have faith in themselves, you shouldn't have belief in yourself and what you can do. And the witch knows you are power, you are essence, you are a voice, you are a spirit. So that's one thing to just go, is like, when you start questioning whether or not you have power, who benefits from you believing that you don't have power, that you don't have an effect on the world? The next thing that sort of sidelines into that is people are often looking for big signs, right? To say, here it is, this is the witchcraft, and this is the big thing. And the world, the universe is often, not always, but often far more subtle than that. So you don't get big blinky signs eat here at Joe's that says, this is the witchcraft. It tends to be more of these little threads that create a pattern. So especially when people are looking into gods and spirits and talking to things like, what did I imagine that? What did this? I don't know. No, I'm not getting this huge sign. There's no giant like flaming goddess appearing in front of me. How do I know this is real? It's like, don't look for that. It's not in that. Not, I would say 98% of the time, it's not like that. It's not like how you see in a movie or a fictional book. It's more quiet and internal, but it can be external. But different discussion. So the other thing is that we also have built into ourselves a lot coming from particularly Abrahamic society, cultural beliefs, is that we're on this quest for perfection, right? To be the best person that you can be, the most pure, the most, whatever that the culture demands. And perfection is bullshit as well. Like, there is no perfect state that you're going to get to unless exactly like as you are right now. That is you in that moment. And you will constantly change and grow. And you might even hit a point where you've hit your best point and then things go downhill from there, right? Especially with illness, dementia, these different things. Like, what does it mean to be perfect? To like that you just get to the end and you get the big finish sign and you're done and you're perfect. Here's your ticket to heaven. Oh, here's your ticket to hell. That's another kind of special. So what I really want folks to keep in mind is when like, I'm going to be the best witch that you can be. Like, you're always constantly learning, growing, and changing. There are going to be things that you make mistakes about that are going to make you more aware of the world and how it works, and hopefully you won't make those mistakes again, but you will continue to make mistakes. And especially these ideas of perfection, we tend to apply them to other people, not just ourselves. So, like, it's problematic when we do it for ourselves because it's not based in reality. But it's also problematic when we apply it to the teachers and leaders and we put them on pedestals and, like, you must be perfect. You can never say anything wrong, do anything wrong, think anything wrong. Again, humans are going to human. I'm going to make mistakes. I've made mistakes. I will continue to do that. The key point is, will I grow from them? Will I change? But a lot of people get sucked into that perfection complex of, like, I have to present this perfect image and I must maintain power over other people, usually a warning sign there. And so that's the thing. It's like, understand that teachers and leaders, authors, performers, nobody's perfect, and people are going to make mistakes. So see how they deal with that, and that can be a different way of, combating, do you lose faith in that? And, like, it's kind of a letdown when people that you admire do something dumb. You're like, why did you do that? Does that mean everything that I've done is wrong? No, it's just they have tripped up on their path. And hopefully they're going to learn something from it, and you're going to learn something from it. In terms of spiritual abuse and violation of trust, that's a really big one that I don't think we can just solve in this short episode. It's sort of an ongoing type of thing. But part of that is a shame cycle that happens, right? When somebody you believe in has let you down and propagates abuse, you tend to think, oh gosh, it's my fault, right? Like, again, we're all human, we're all going to make mistakes, but that doesn't mean that you have to dwell in it, right? Again, moving forward. So witchcraft is a quest for experience. It's like an experimental and experiential path. So allow yourself to continue to build, to grow, to forgive yourself for making mistakes, and allow yourself to, sometimes you'll fall back into it and sometimes you'll move forward. Other things, so magic. Magic kind of goes back into that power of self that we're talking about, and also society going, it's not real. We really love it in fantasy and movies and stuff, but it's not. It is real. Magic is thought. Thought affects the world around us. But I think where people go, does my spell work? Does my spell not work? Comes into where you're trying to make magic happen. And for some people, they're thinking all the way up there, like, I'm going to make big changes up there. Magic works most effectively and most distinctively and awarely at the root level. So starting with yourself, starting with small things, initiating change at the immediate level around you, you're going to see those effects. You might not even immediately notice them right away, but when you step back a month later, a year later, you're going to go, wow, I can see where my path changed, and the working I did enabled me to do this. So think about, is it something obtainable? Is it something within your sphere that you can change? Or are you just kind of being non-specific and really big about things, which is sort of vague and makes it harder for the universe to help you out there. And then the other one is dealing with gods, right? God, mad at the goddess was what someone said. So think about the purpose of gods, right? We, as human beings, like to have a sense that there's something else with more control over the universe than us. And that's one way that you can look at it. But again, part of the things that the baggage, particularly from Abrahamic culture, is the all-knowing, all-seeing, infallible deity. And deities are on a different level than human beings and other physical corporeal beings, right? But that doesn't mean that they're perfect. Again, no perfection. They see at a different place, but that doesn't mean they're all knowing. They can see a bit further, but that doesn't mean they're all knowing, all wise. So you look at deities in terms of guidance and relationships, just as you would have a relationship with anybody else. But again, it seems like putting a deity on a pedestal, right? you get to think about your relationship with deities. Are you working with them? Are you devotional? How does that work? Are you supplementing some other idea of something controlling your life rather than having your own sense of self-control and power, your own sovereignty coming into here? So I think you'll find that so it can be a lot less disappointed about certain aspects of deities when you realize that there are still many similarities between us as embodied spirits and deities and the unembodied, right? The beyond, the liminal entities as well. So not everything is all-seeing, not everything is all-knowing. Maybe the universe as a whole is like that. So think about that. So when it comes to, this video isn't going to fix your crisis of faith, but I am hoping that it gives you a little bit of pause to think about, right, am I believing in myself? If I am having issues with the world, right now the world is a really fucked up place. People, and especially the media, is promoting how stupid people are being about basic health and decency. So that can make you like lose touch with the world. Like, is what I'm doing having an effect? And look around you. I feel this is a Mr. Rogers moment. Look for the helpers, right? There are more people in the world doing good than there are assholes. I know it doesn't seem like that most of the time, but I guarantee that there are. And I always recommend get physical, right? Make small changes in your immediate living environment, whether that's a day of cleaning, if that's going out into the yard, working with some plants, going out for a walk, helping somebody else out safely, with mask on, taking health precautions. And that often helps change your mindset, that you see these interactions, you see these threads, and that you can interact with people. And again, working with your own sense of power to kind of worship the deity within, right? It's good to have a little bit of doubt, though. I have to say, like, having a little bit of like questioning about how the universe works, totally, absolutely valid. It is really healthy in the sense of, not going, I am all powerful, all seeing, all know, I can do anything, I can curse anybody. That gets a little into the insecurity power trip type of thing versus going, is this working? Am I doing the right thing? If you have a little bit of questioning about how things work, it's natural, and it means that you are surveying for more solutions than just kind of believing this little kind of square, this little closed off little world. But when it comes to, just taking the time to be kind to yourself right now, like, it is really hard right now to practice good mental, spiritual, and emotional health when you feel isolated, when you're exhausted by, doing things on Zoom to not be able to work with the people that you normally work with. And what I really recommend in that sense is to remember, don't put things on hold. We're not in a holding period, right? This is not a once this is over type of thing, then I can. Look to see what you can do right now to affect your practice. What are you doing every day? And it doesn't have to be a huge thing. It can be that 5 minutes that you take as you have your morning cup of coffee or tea. It is a few moments of meditation at an altar. It's a walk outside. It's, whatever it is in your practice, in your path, that gives you a few moments of connection. It's not going to solve everything, but it will definitely reorient yourself to everything that's going on. So that is my advice for dealing with a crisis of faith. And I do hope that you found this helpful. And if you have more topics for me to cover, please leave them in the comments. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.